But I guess the main focus tonight, ladies and gents, should be on what I think is the transfer story of the day, which is Liverpool's sincere interest in Jeremy Frimpong. Loads and loads of reports today to suggest that Liverpool are genuinely interested in Frimpong. This comes from high-caliber journalists, the likes of David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, and many others. So, as always, we'll go through it all over the next few hours. So I'm excited for a better defender in right-back. Yeah, well, that's one thing that, again, you've seen really quickly, Rusba, that Real Madrid fans are just not interested in Trent. I spoke last night about the piece that Joe Sports did, where they interviewed a load of Real Madrid fans, and not really any of them bothered about signing Trent. In fact, they were more concerned than delighted. So, yeah, we'll figure that out as well. So let's start off with Ben Jacobs. Anfield Sector, credit down for this post on X, said, Jeremy Frimpong has emerged as a top target for Liverpool and has a £30 million or €35 million release clause. Liverpool like his profile, writes Ben Jacobs, as he is capable of playing as a more wing-back and further up the field too. And this is the point that I'm trying to make. It looks like Conor Bradley is going to be the number one choice for right-back next year, which he should be. He's earned that right. But the club do have concerns about, well, his fitness, really. Will he have injuries? Will we be able to rely on him? And that's where somebody like Frimpong could be a very astute signing. Look, I've said to you guys on a few occasions, this could give us an option if Chiesa leaves as well to cover for Mohamed Salah on the right. Could also give us an option in utilising him the way I like to talk about Costas. So if you remember under Jurgen Klopp, there are games where it's a tight game or we're losing and we need to go get a goal. And he took Robbo off and put Costas on and used Costas as more of a winger. I imagine the same type of scenario if Frimpong comes to Liverpool. That yes, he can play on the right side of defence if needs be, if we're looking to get up the field, but also give us that cover on the right side of attack. James Pearce writes, Liverpool are going to have a look at their options in the market for right back. I know, and you know, Frimpong has been mentioned as a possibility. So James Pearce there even adding some flames, shall we say, to the fire. And then we've got Fabrizio Romano, who posted to say that Jeremy Frimpong could be Trent's replacement at Liverpool as he has a €35 million release clause, which is valid. So lots of excitement there for me on this one. But what do we think? Frimpong, happy? Do we think... So I've spoke to people in our Discord group who think it's a stupid idea. And the idea of Frimpong coming in would leave us with more questions than answers. But this is what I mean. This type of signing does seem to divide the fan base. So let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. I've just scared that Frimpong won't be able to match Trent's creativity. Greetings from Toronto. Well, the creativity thing, my friend, is Richard, is certainly an interesting point. And that is something that a lot of journalists have been at pains to say that Arne Slot wants to add to this squad is a bit of extra creativity. Now, I don't think you're going to find a right back in world football that will match the creativity that Trent has. It just doesn't exist. So you're going to have to try and find that creativity from elsewhere. Frimpong could certainly add to that. If only Denzel Dumfries was younger, I'd take him in a heartbeat, said Pasky. Yeah, he's having a very good season and shown his worth there at Inter Milan. I think he could be really good in defence and could be good in the attack if we need him in certain games. Frimpong, said Michael Dunstan. That's my take as well, mate. You know, if we need to pour forward and find a goal from somewhere, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have Frimpong tearing down the right side, overlapping runs for Mohamed Salah. And to be fair, Bradley can do that as well. Philip McWilliam said, Frimpong absolutely terrorised Andy Robertson in our game versus Leverkusen. Well, look, we have a couple of things. Arne Slot will know all about Frimpong. No doubt about that. Price-wise, it is a very, very tasty transfer fee, you know. €35 million is fairly low for a player of his pedigree, is that the right word? So I think it's realistic, and I think it would give us very good options on the right-hand side. The position that I'm really struggling to figure out is the one our friend from Canada mentioned a moment ago, the creative position. Who is that going to be? Where is that creativity going to come from? We thought for a brief moment it may be Kevin De Bruyne, but now, well, let's see. Let's see who we think it's going to be. Is it going to be somebody like a Morgan Rogers, whom I don't think is the player Villa are going to sell, by the way, and I'll move on to that one in a moment. How good of a defender is Frimpong? He is as good of a defender as I am a spokesperson for broccoli. So, you know, there you go. That's probably as clear and convincing as an answer I can give you. I think that's fair as well. I wouldn't be thinking. He's a wing back more than anything. I wonder if the fact that Alonso's coming into Real Madrid might actually help and benefit Trent, because he will play in a wing back role more likely rather than an actual right back. So if he plays that, 3-4-3, 3-5-2, anything along those lines, then yeah, maybe Trent will benefit from less defensive structure. Is that the right word? Or less of a need to help out defensively. But again, he's joining a team who've won nothing this season. Let's remember that. Barcelona will probably win La Liga. They've got a cup final. Yes, they lost heartbreakingly in the semi-final to Inter in what was an incredible 2 legs. But Madrid have won nothing. So he's going to a team that have won nothing. A team that has failed this year. Matthew said, would rather have fit Joe Gomez at right back than Frimpong. It depends, Matthew, who we're playing. So if we were going away from home in Europe and we needed to get a win, I would rather have Frimpong, because I think it would give us more of an attacking threat. If we were playing Manchester City or Arsenal in the league and I wanted my right back and knew they were going to have a difficult evening against a tricky winger, then yeah, I'd want Joe Gomez. Anfield Index done an article on Wesley. He's 21, plays for Flamenco. Thoughts? That we've spoken about him multiple times on the channel, and that Manchester City are making a bid to sign him before the Club World Cup. So right now it looks like City are the strongest ones in the race for Wesley. If Liverpool are going for Frimpong, then it makes absolute sense that Liverpool have moved away. But it looks like, from my understanding, City are the most likely destination for Wesley at this point in time. Particularly, of course, with the Club World Cup coming up as well. City are pushing to try and get a player like him in beforehand. So yeah, he has been linked with Liverpool, but as I said, I only read that story today about Man City. So if the stuff about Liverpool and Frimpong is true, then it makes sense, that we drop our interest in Wesley. Costas. Let's talk about Costas for a moment. It looks like he's going to be the left back that's sold. We're starting to get some confirmation now. Liverpool are ready to sell left back Costas Tsimikas this summer, according to Football Insider. And it makes sense. I know a lot of people will look at it and go, but Robbo's older. The point being, can you ever see Costas being a starting left back? Do you feel comfortable with Costas playing 20 league games in a row if needs be? I think deep down the answer is probably no. He's a lovely fella. I'm sure he's great around the dressing room as well, and certainly has contributed at times to what we've done. But I think he's the common sense one to sell. Robertson has 1 year to go on his Liverpool deal and will probably want to play for another deal next season. So I think you're going to see a good version of Andy Robertson next year, whether that's pushing the new starting left back or whether that's just being a good influence in and around the changing rooms and on the training ground, setting the standards. I think Robbo's going to be playing for his Liverpool future, and I'm expecting a big season from him, on top of Kirkes, who I believe will be the left back brought in. But Costas, I'm unsure of how much Liverpool would maybe ask for. So give me your best guess in the chat as to what you think could be a realistic transfer fee that Liverpool look for Costas, and where you think he may end up. Do you think he stays in the Prem, as an example? Johannes Bowman said 20 million. 10 million said Rory White. He'll probably go to Turkey. I think we probably get a bit more than 10, because we bought him for, I want to say it was 12. And then, once you've played for Liverpool and competed at the highest level again, your value surely got to go up a little bit with a bit more experience. So I'm an 18 to 20 million pound guesser, if you want to call it that. I think 18 to 20 million would be about what I think would be right for Costas. What is he now? 27, something like that?